Yeah, good morning. This is Bang Bang Rail. Please like and subscribe. I had a couple of powers in here last night. KO on TV. Nice fella, Christian. We were just talking about the fighting game, and how it's changed and the difference in it, and this, that, and the other. And I was telling him about the old times. When I was in Lewisham with Jimmy Tibbet and all that lot, Eddie Richardson, Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp, Gypsy Tom. Big George with a big sky game, all that. And then proper gangsters down there. Them fighters in them days were proper fighters. You know what I mean? And proper gangsters, yeah. And now, what is it now? It seems to be that anybody that comes out of a junior school can go and fight, because it's changed now. It seems to be that everybody now wants to have a fight, and no one can fight. It's a joke, mate. It's a joke. Like illegal fights and prize fighting and bare knuckle fights should be for them people doing it. Not every Tom, Dick and Harry. It's got ridiculous now. Anybody walking down the road, I'll have a fight. Mind you, say that. You've got scaffolders and people, bricklayers and them sort of people. Their hands are rough and tough, and especially scaffolders and them steel richters, them people that big do all the steel. They're strong men, mate, and a lot of them are very, very quiet and can have it, mate, and can have a right fight. You got all that game about I'm the governors and this, that, and the other is finished. You know what I mean? That's gone out the window. There's geezers out there who could bash 7 colours of shit out of most people, really. You know what I mean? You got Lou Yates, yeah, that come down from where he come, Hull, with it, over that way. Come down to London, and come down to London to fight anybody. Look after the clubs, because he wasn't getting no money up there, and that's a proper man. You know what I mean? To come down from London, from where he lived, Hull or wherever it was, to come down to London and run clubs, and then get in the ring with Roy Shaw, and anybody that wanted to fight, he'd fight. Big, powerful man. Just come down to fight. Same thing with me. I was in Acton, and I thought to myself, everybody's fighting now. Everybody's doing this street fight, illegal fights. I fancy it. The girl I was with, Christine, she moved to Lewisham. I was looking after a few wine bars and clubs and things, and the venue Victoria. So I thought, why not? So I moved over there with her, and then you go and meet proper people. Terry Coombs, Terry Sharp, especially Eddie Richardson, mate. Eddie Richardson is a proper face, proper gangster. Him and his brother Charlie, you can't get better than that, you know what I mean? And they wanted me to get into the fighting game, and so I did. I used to run 10 mile, 8 mile a day with big boots on, the pack on my back. Every day, getting really, really fit. I was big. I was big when I came out of prison, muscular, really big guy. But I thought to myself, I've got to lose weight, got to trim up. And I did. I trimmed up to about 18 and a half stone, and could really bang, And going down to Beckett, and then getting in the ring with Roy Shaw, and Roy was punching me all around the gaff at first, you know what I mean? He was like, punches were coming from the floor. Roy could bang, Roy was a good banger, but I respected Roy. Me and Roy had good talks together in the gym. In the changing room, sat down, and he said to me, mate, you can hit hard, mate. You can hit hard, you know what I mean? And then we'd have a couple of more sparring sessions, and it wasn't one-sided no more. It was, me and him I held my arm with him, and then it got to a stage where I was banging him, And I like Roy. The conversation me and Roy could have, I know he's a little bit thing, but we had good conversations, you know what I mean? And then for me to go to what I think was Mayfair, Tottenham, and fight at Brian Hall, and then get out of the ring, Lenny's there, and then Lenny starts running me down, this, that, and the other. I thought to myself, this guy is a different kettle of fish, you know what I mean? He's a different sort of person. Where Roy wasn't flash, Roy was just talking natural. He knew who he was. He got Lenny, but obviously we did get to fight. Me and Lenny in a ring at Vic Andretti's pub. But I didn't think that Lenny beat me. Any time I sparred with Lenny, never. And it was like 50-50, and then it got a bit my way, You know what I mean? And we tried to get it on. You know, we got to try to get it on twice, and Lenny never showed up. But you know, people think, oh, yeah, Lenny killed Rail. Listen, no one knew who I was. No one knew who I was. You know, everybody knew who Lenny was over in North London. I come from West London. I come from West London all the way to North London and South East London to fight. You know, why not? I ain't no fighting no man. I'm a big, powerful man. What's the difference? What's the difference? Why shouldn't I come to South East London and North London and fight? You know, I started West London fighting. I started it all. I had my own promotions in West London. I was silly that when the police stopped it, I shouldn't have carried it. I should have carried it on somewhere else. And perhaps I now, instead of me going back to prison, would have been a promoter, a proper fighting boxing promoter like Frankie Warren. You know, there was no difference really. I mean, I was still promoting my own fights, you know, but West London, you know, I mean, come on, mate. West London, you had lots of fighters there, loads of fighters. Honestly, you know, people. Listen, there's fighters in West London that could have come to North London, South East London, and bashed them all up, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah, I know you people are sitting there from North London, from South East London. Nah, never, it wouldn't happen, but it did happen, mate. There was good fighters in West London. I mean, there's a big documentary going to come out very soon about my mate. He's done a book, and he's a traveller. I ain't going to spoil it, but it's a big documentary, and it's good. It's good. It's a good documentary. I'm in it, you know, and there's a few people in it who are good fighters from West London. But come on, give us West Londoners a bit of this, you know what I mean? We were good fighters, mate. We were good fighters. I wanted to go to the front, yeah? I wanted to be number one. You know what I mean? Listen, when you spar with people like Cliff Fields, yeah? And you fight people like Cliff Fields and Kevin Paddock and Sid Paddock and them sort of people, and Dorman, you know what I mean? You ain't fighting no one, mate. I weren't fighting no one. I've never really heard of Lou Yates. The only time I heard was when he done a podcast, Lou Yates, and I respect him a lot, yeah, for what he was saying and who he fought. I mean, I didn't like the way he talks about Cliff Fields. Cliff Fields has never ever turned his back on anybody, Cliff. He was too big, too powerful, too strong, proper fighter. You know what I mean? He's fought some good people. Maybe he got beat, but he's fought some good people, and he ain't going to turn his back to no one. Don't think Lou Yates said that when he went into a pub or something, said something to Cliff Fields, and Cliff Fields turned his back on him, like, you know. And I don't think that at all. That's a little bit made up conversation. But anyway, I respect Lou. I respect Lou Yates a lot, you know, because he was a proper man. He still is a proper man, you know what I mean? But we all get older, and the thing is not to get older. You know what I mean? Age is just a number. You've got my mate Sergio from Shepherd's Bush that way, Lavender Grove, Shepherd's Bush, that area. He's about he keeps telling me he's 60s, but I don't think he is. I think he's more like 80s, 90s, like my age. No, I'm only joking, Serge. I'm only joking, mate. Good fighter, Serge. He trains really well. People must have seen him. Another fighter, mate. Another fighter from West London. Serge, can have it, mate. I think he had about 15, 20 fights as a pro. Never been beat. Good fighter, mate. There's fighters in West London, I'm telling you, that, you know, I would love to get it all back together again. Love to do promotion, but why? There's nothing there. It's all finished. It's all finished. There ain't no fighters. There ain't no fighters no more. You've got the Travellers. Yes, of course. Listen, Travellers been fighting for years and years and years. It's what they do. They're taught to fight from age, when they're in the pram. They fight then in the pram, you know what I mean? And they're taught to fight. It's fighting. That's a fighting. It's in there. It's in them. Yeah, to fight. And yeah, of course, standard. You know, but it's been getting out of order now. Everything's like everybody on YouTube that all run each other down. they're all talking about fights. No one's got any more conversations about their life or interviewing anybody else, yeah? Like, I mean, you got Ken English. Is it Kenny English? Not Kenny, I think his name's Kenny English, is it? I think it's Kenny, I get all mixed up in names, me. You know, look at him. Look, not Kenny, what's his name anyway? You know who I'm talking about. Look at him. He interviews people every day, and he's quite a good fighter as it happens. He ain't a bad fighter. And then you got what? KON TV, Christian. He's interviewing people all the time. You got Marvin Herbert. He interviews people all the time, but he only talks about himself. So that's what Marvin does, you know. But he still interviews people as much as he possibly can. And then you got Sean Atwood. I mean, another one. All the others, all they want to do is fight and talk about getting in the ring, bare knuckle fighting. Maybe people on the podcast love all that, you know what I mean? Maybe they love all that. But YouTube and Google have gone a bit crazy with this fighting game, you know what I mean? Come on, it's going to get to a stage one day that it's going to get really out of order. I mean, it's been out of order now. People running around buying bars, smashing windows, smashing this, doing that. Come on, it's crazy. You know, you're doing the work for the police are just looking at you and going, okay, nice one, later. You know what I mean? So you've got to be a bit careful, you know. It ain't better just having a laugh. And you've got to be a bit careful, whatever you do, mate. I mean, I'm an IPP. Listen, I don't want to go back in prison, ever. I'm out now and I want to stay out, you know what I mean? Don't want to go in there, mate. It's a mug's game. All we want to do is get money and survive now, you know what I mean? Survive. Don't thieve it. Don't hurt anybody for it. Don't sell drugs. Just get money, mate. Work for it, yeah? Work for it. I'm now doing a book. My book's getting on really, really well. I've got to do it today. I've got a meeting with the guy doing my book, and you know, and I always do about 2.5, 3 hours, and it's going on a bit now. So I like it, you know what I mean. And I've got loads and loads of stories in my life because I've been in prison. I met so many people in there. I met so many people when I come out of prison. I was an enforcer. I was a good enforcer. I was a cage fighter. Not a cage fighter. I was a bare knuckle fighter. Also a street fighter. Also a legal fighter. I've done all that, mate. You know what I mean? And there wasn't no cameras on us then as such. There wasn't no videos like there is now. You know. I'm sorry that I missed all that. It's my age. You know, obviously Lenny McLean and Roy Shaw got it because they had good promoters. I didn't know no one wanted to promote me. I had a good manager. And even Eddie Richardson at that time was a manager, fighting people, but not a promoter as such, taking pictures and photographs of people and all that, you know. I would love to add what they got now, so people can actually see me fight, you know what I mean, and see what I was like. And I mean, I was acting Town Hall. I've asked people to try and check it out. There is a video. We're trying to get all this video, but it seems to be really, really hard work. We're trying to get hold of a guy called Bob Coleman. You know, if you're listening, Bob Coleman, he was my promoter, Hillman Promotions. Try and get hold of me because you must have a video, Bob, because you're the one who got it going. So you must have a video of the fights. So you know, I'd love that because I want to show the people that are on my podcast. And who watch my podcast, what I was like, a fighter, and what I looked like, and all that. You know, come on, it's nice. You know what I mean? And I was an handful. As I say, I wasn't fighting at any man. What's the point? What's the point of being fighting? I mean, I'm a human being. You know, I've got 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. It's different when you get in the ring with someone's got a fucking AK-47 or an handgun, or a big chopper, or an axe, or a fucking knife and things like that to get in the ring and have a fight, yeah? That's different. But if they get in the ring with you with 2 hands and a head and a pair and the knees and all that, it's no different. That ain't nothing. It's the same. You know, who are they? No, it's no one different. He can only knock you out, mate. You know what I mean? And we'll cut you up, and that's what it's about, isn't it? You know, why people get frightened of it, I don't know. You know, I don't know why. You know, come on, mate, it's crazy. I mean, I've seen this fighting now. There's a couple of fighters out there that are good. Heggett, I think it's Heggett or something, is it? I'm not Haggett or whatever his name is. There's a few fighters out there, travelling fighters that can have it, yeah, that are good fighters. I see one the other day, a kid having a fight in a car park. Good fight. Two travellers. Good fight, mate. Toe to toe. No nutting, no biting, no all that game. Good fight. Good fights. You know, but all the others, it's a waste of time. It's terrible. It's ridiculous. I see these fighters. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. I think really, myself personally, I think the street fights, the illegal fights, I think they're better off doing them in a car park, in a bit of ground, on a bit of ground. You know, in the ring, it's not the same. They're trying to be something that they can't be. You know, the ring should be for young amateurs who are going to turn pro and professional fighters, not people that are going to go in there and do a pansy putter, all that game. You know what I mean? Ooh, all that game, not about that, and going in the ring and giving one punch to someone and all that crap. It's a load of crap, it's a load of cobblers. And people, you know, people shouldn't stand for that shit. You know, it ain't no good, mate. It ain't no good. You know, and it's got to, you know, this podcast is terrible. Listen, I want to get on, you know what I mean? I want to get on. You know, I want to go forward in my life, yeah? I want to go forward. I'm training every day, not to have a fight. I mean, come on. Me and Matty go back a long way. Matty's got hold of someone, he wants to talk to me and we want to call it a day. Fair play. Fair play with him, mate, you know what I mean? What's the point? He can't beat me. I don't want to get in the ring and hurt him, mate. It's not about it, is it? He's someone I've known for a long time, even though sometimes he talks a bit silly. I talk a bit silly sometimes. We all do it, yeah? But he can't fight me, mate. He can't fight. I've got my mate Barney McCoy, Ida Sheppy. He's doing boxing now, and I want him to go forward, and I want to see what he's got. He's got a few fighters. My mate Sid Paddock's down there, been told he's training people down there. Anyway, listen, this is Ray Bang Bang Hill. Please like and subscribe. But I'd like people out to try and stop this silly what they're doing now. It's 24/7 fighting. 24/7. Everybody wants to fight everybody. You know, anybody that comes out from a kiddies school as a junior, they want to fight. You know, get in a ring and fight. That's what they want to do. Everybody wants to fight now. It's gone absolutely mad. You have a big women's thing in a minute. Everybody, it's crazy. Anyway, Bang Bang Rail. Please like and subscribe. Morning.